This is a meditation on the word, the first of more, but it will give you the pattern for the whole thing. I will not read the words except at the very beginning. In. The point with this first word is it gives you the direction in which everything lies. This means there is only one. Beginning, the very start, and it can only be the beginning of everything, and the direction is inward. Was indicates a state of continued being. The state of continued being of one thing that is unique. The word. Now, a word is something which is the means for transmitting meaning from one entity to another, and is the word which indicates that there is more to be said, the referring again to the only word which was with God, which means it was separate from, or even though it was born out of God, because God spoke the word, though the word was within him even before he spoke it, and the word was continued state of being God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, spoken then into existence by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So everything was spoken by the word. In him was life, which means that life is within the word, within the meaning, whether or not the being has life or not. A stone has no life, but a plant does. And that life was the light through which we see absolutely everything, and through which we not only see colours and shapes, but also our eyes themselves are formed by the light, so that we can see the light of men. That is what the light is for us, and life itself. And the light shines, which is the action of the light radiating forth inside the darkness. But the darkness comprehended, in other words, did not managed to grasp it in the sense of understanding, nor in the sense of limiting. That is what comprehension is. There was a man, note a man, not God, not the Word, sent from God, whose name was John. This identifies the person. He was not that light, but was sent as a witness. A witness is somebody who has seen. He, John, saw the light. To that light, he saw that light so that all men through him might believe. And that is the point of the witness, that he tells others what he has seen. That was the true light. At this point we already have the possibility of a false light, which is interesting, that comes out of the darkness, but it cannot be a true light, because a true light is not comprehended by the darkness. That lights every man that was coming into the world being the collection of everything that was made by God through the Word and revealed by the light. So the light of the Word was in the world. That is the unique thing. Never before had this happened. And the world was made by him, this we already know, but the world knew him not. In other words, the world was not capable of sufficient comprehension, enough awareness to know who the Word was, who the light was. He came unto his own, and by his own it is clear that he means physical beings created by him. In other words, the light, where the light shines, in other words, in men, the light of men, to his own. We are his own, but his own received him not. Most people simply are unaware of the acts of the light in the spirit and in the material world. Even if we read the Gospels, we are nowhere near aware of everything that there is here. But to as many as received him, to those who received the light, to them gave he the power. So the first thing we get is power, it is ability, it is capability to become, in other words, to improve, to be something more than we were before. The sons of God. And you should be aware, in Judeo-Christian theology, the sons of God, the Beni Elohim, is the name of the angelic order, which is immediately above the archangels. In other words, the spirits of time itself, where you live in eternity. Yes, even unto them that believe upon his name. His name being the Word, the Light, the Life. That is his name. And believing means that we are transformed because we receive that name in us. And through that we can develop it. The power is not the actuality. It is the way forward. It is the transformation we have to make in ourselves, which were born not of the blood. And here we are talking about the type of heredity that there was in preparation for the incarnation. The blood impulse which runs not just in Jewish people, but also in all kinds of tribes and in primitive peoples the world over. Nor of the will of the flesh. And that means the instincts, and in particular the instinct that drives humans to have sex with one another, to create new people, nor of the will of man. In other words, not even through any decision that human beings are capable of making, but of God. But God alone is able to give us this capability. And the Word, the mysterious Logos, the root of all knowledge, the sphere in which, in love, we call eternity into existence. That sphere where we call other beings into existence because the Word has been given to us, and we too will be able to pronounce things, and we can already through our words when they are sacred words. Was made flesh. In other words, the Word himself became a human being like us, subject to all of the things that a human being is capable of, and therefore knowing everything that is within us, and therefore being able to be in us as he is when we become his true disciples through incarnating the Word, but also he is able to be a true and fair judge of us because he is in us and knows exactly what our circumstances are. And dwelt, he lived amongst us. He lives still amongst us. And we beheld, we saw, using the light, using our eyes, his glory, which is the magnificent radiance of the light which penetrates, transforms and redeems everything. Glory as of the only begotten, created but out of his own being, like the Word is out of his own speech. Son being separate element of the Father, being the name of God after the Son, the Word has come forth, full of grace, which is self-giving, and truth, which is verifiable, unavoidable reality. And that is why this passage is the key to all of the New Testament.